Slugging outfielder Jason Bay to the Mets pending a physical involving a lot of money. Lauren Shehadi, Scott Miller, our MLB columnist, here joining us now. Scott, good to see you. The Mets have reached an agreement with outfielder Jason Bay pending a physical. How big a move is this for the Mets, a team that a year ago had the least amount of home runs in the major leagues?
Yeah, Lauren, it's it's a significant move. As you mentioned, they need some power. They needed some middle of the lineup power. They came into this winter needing that, needing a catcher, needing some pitching, and the problem was, as each day's gone by, the Mets are losing ground because not only did they have their own holes, but the Phillies, who have won two back-to-back National League titles, are getting they're swinging for the fences. They're only getting better. In addition to winning the titles and playing in the last two World Series. The Phillies have traded for Roy Halladay already this winter, and they've signed Placido Polanco. So the Mets were getting to a situation where they had to do something. Jason Bay's going to help. I don't think he's going to hit as many home runs as he did last year, 36, simply because one reason the Mets hit so few home runs is because Citi Field is more of a pitcher's park, not conducive to home runs. But that said, they had to get some pop in their lineup, and they could do a lot worse than Jason Bay.
That is for certain. You mentioned the Phillies' incredible resume, and you say the Mets needed to do something. They went into the season needing this, and this. How far behind are the Mets still in the NL East?
Well, I think, you start with the Phillies. The Phillies right now, they've got a great young, still fairly young core of guys, and Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins, and now they have Roy Halladay. I think the Phillies will enter the spring as the clear favorites in the NL East. Atlanta has made some moves. Atlanta, you have to like their pitching. Anytime you've got enough starters, guys like Tim Hudson and Jared Jurgens and Tommy Hanson, the young rookie that debuted last year, they've got so much pitching. They traded Javier Vasquez to the Yankees to get Melky Cabrera. And, there are a lot of teams out there that would love a Javier Vasquez. So, the Phillies are really good. The Braves are going to be good. The Marlins, they don't have the marquee guys, but they've got some, good young talent like Josh Johnson and Hanley Ramirez, of course. And, the Mets, they're in a struggle. They've got a really high payroll, but talent-wise, they have some holes. And the other thing with the Mets, Lauren, is 2 years ago they traded for Johan Santana, and everybody thought, oh man, that's a great move. Last year they signed a couple of key free agents, Francisco Rodriguez, the closer, and J.J. Putz, and everybody thought, okay, that fills their holes. They're going to be really good. And the point is, despite those past two winners, getting these marquee guys, they've still taken on water. So, Bay's great, but they've got work to do.
They still have holes to fill, is what you're telling me. Let's get back to Jason Bay. He's averaged 30 home runs in the last 6 years, 4.5 years with the Pirates in the NL. Do you think he's more comfortable, Scott, in the National League?
I think Jason Bay's comfortable anywhere. I think, Lauren, there was a big question of that when Boston acquired him 2 summers ago in a big trade with Pittsburgh. But, he really took to Boston pretty well. I was wondering the same thing then. I thought, geez, this is a guy that's been in the National League his whole life, that's played out in the Sticksville market of Pittsburgh, so to speak, not exactly a big market. And then he came to Boston, and I thought, is this a guy that's going to wilt? And he did well. I don't think New York was his first choice. The Mets made an offer back in early December for him, and he's kept the Mets cooling their heels for the last 3 or 4 weeks. You heard a lot of things about he wanted to return to Boston, and as a native of Canada, there was a lot of word. Friends of his were talking like he would have loved to have signed with Seattle, and Seattle showed some interest, but then they went in some other directions, and really, the Mets, in the end, were the only team that was offering the big money for for 4 or 5 years. and it was almost like the musical chairs and the music has stopped playing, and that was Bay's only landing spot. I think he's going to be fine in the National League. I think he's comfortable in the National League. He succeeded in Boston. I think he can play anywhere, and I think that'll be a good thing for the Mets because, as I say, I'm not sure New York would be his first choice, but as things have played out, it's where he's ended up.
It might not be his first choice, but $66 million for 4 years, not a bad thing. It'd probably be my first choice. I'm just saying, Scott. Scott, thanks
not
for...
bad, huh?
I know, not a bad day at the office. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, Lauren. We'll can never get enough of this hot stove stuff.
That's right, and you keep it here, right here on CBSSports.com. We'll talk to you real soon.